Hey everybody, it's Mr. Delusia with the weekly Devblog. I was going to record tomorrow, but I had some spare time today, so I was getting it out the way today. I've done a bit since last week, just making more ships, and is it recording? Yeah. I was just getting a funny notification on desktop for OBS, but yeah, I was making new ships, so there's a few in there, and I was doing a few other things like fixing a few bugs, like the market bug that was in the last video. There was a few other bugs I missed, and I found as I was making one of the new things, which I'll show today, which is the Megaboss for the war zones, and that's kind of half done at the moment. I mean, it's there and it shoots at you, but I need to do the collision properly, because at the moment I made the Megaboss pretty much a big ship, and how I'm doing collisions in the game, so I'm not doing pixel perfect collision, I'm actually doing it by the source rect, because I think firstly pixel based collision will be too expensive for this game, and I'm already using a lot of resources, I think, and secondly is I don't really know how to do it, so I'm leaving it as it is, but I'm making it in a way that it won't be as noticeable. So instead of talking, let's go into it. I don't know what ship I got on at the moment. I'll show off the Megaboss first. That's another thing I fixed, is the HUD health. So now the shields regen. So the shields have a regen rate. I'll just put the sound down so I'm not talking over it. But yeah, the shields now have a regen, and each type of shield has a regen rate that obviously can be modified with some of the prefixes and suffixes as well. There'll be like shield strength and everything. So yeah, as you can see there. And another thing that it does, which isn't that noticeable, is when it gets low, say there's 4 health, say you got 4 shield and the enemy hits for 8 damage. What it used to do is just hit for that 4 damage and do no damage to the health. But now what it does is it does the 4 damage and then it carries over the rest of the damage to the health. So yeah, that's working properly as I want it. I adjusted the width as to when the shield and health ends appear, so it doesn't do that. I don't know if you saw in the previous videos, it kind of does this jagged thing where it's thin, but yeah, it doesn't do that anymore. That was another thing, and yeah, there was a few other things I can't really remember, but so you'll see if I put the sound up. There he is. So I've put modifiers on the gun. I'll just put it down again. So yeah, I put modifiers on the enemy's guns now. So now the enemies can have the same modifiers that you have. And I did that because I wanted to have the boss shoot spastic like it is, like all over the place. And yeah, as I was doing that, I found a few bugs with the guns, so I fixed them. Like the spread wasn't happening if there was already existing modifiers. So yeah, and the actual slow modifier was applying twice. So yeah, just minor things. So I'm about to die, I think. But if you notice quickly, the collision here is like a square. So that's not going to be when I fix it properly. It's actually going to be... so I'm removing the collision with that boss and making like little, say, turrets. And that's where the bullets are going to fire from. And that's the collisions, well, that's where the bullets will collide with. So if you know many shooters, they actually have like segments of the boss, and I think as I'm working it out to do it this way, I think that's why they actually do it that way as well, to make the collisions not as horrible. So that's a workaround that I'm doing for that. But yeah, another thing I've done, and I'll switch to desktop so you can see this, is now the window mode is borderless, because when I noticed when it's in windowed mode at the resolution you run the monitor, because it has a border, it pushes the image down, or the screen thinks it's supposed to be from 00, which is the top left part of your screen, but because of the border, the 00 is actually like 420 or something. So all the alignment of the buttons goes off. So anyway, I'll switch to desktop. So as you can see here, there's no border. So yeah, like the only thing with that is you can't drag the window. But the good thing is no issue with tabbing out, no issue with yeah, all the things it was having issues with before. And you can actually run windowed mode at your full screen resolution. And I reckon that's probably the best way to run the game, is windowed, well, borderless full screen. And yeah, because then I don't know what it is with monogame, but when it's in full screen you tab out, it doesn't let you tab back in. But when it's in windowed mode you can tab in and out, no worries. So that's that one. Now I'll show off some of the new ships. So yeah, I was testing the uncoordinated bullets, because this wasn't working properly because this is the modifier that the boss had, and it wasn't working for some reason. I thought maybe I missed something when I made the boss, but it was actually to do with the gun. So if you can see here, it just fires all over the place. And there are a few it actually works, but say with this one, the machine gun, it already had an existing spread modifier, which was like pi over 32, and that kind of give it a variance in how it shot. Because it had that, it didn't apply the spread modifiers from the prefix or suffix. So now that's fixed and it does what it's meant to do. So if you noticed as well, on the last warp out, it's kind of updated as well. So I've made everything move properly now, and the further background, like the planets and moon, scroll at a slower pace. So you see that, and then it goes into that warp. So I think it kind of looks a bit better, but yeah, still adjusting, I guess. And another thing I've done is the hyperwarp timing. So I haven't even tested that, so I'm going to use this video to test it, to see the timing on that. And I'll show off the new ships, and that'll be this video. So yeah, everything. And I'm not going to bother to show off the market bugs because they're just working properly now. So if you fly from this, actually I'll go into the, I think this will be at Delusia 1 still. Or not. I'll go to a different one. That one will be at Delusia 1. Yep. Oh yeah, and I don't think I showed it off, but I've changed the warp gates visual to look way better. So see this is the same gun that was firing before without the uncontrolled modifier. So it kind of has a base spread. So if you notice, yeah, like you can really see it. It actually has a curve as well. A slight curve, which is what you see on the guns like the Berserker launcher and that, which makes it scatter all over the screen like a bloody ant. So I'll turn the music on so we can enjoy Nico's. Actually, it's not gonna, because that's what I have to test, the music alignment. I might actually get out of the game and get back into it. Because this is one bug I haven't fixed yet. And that's the music stops for some reason. So there's the new warp gate. Now another thing I'm gonna do is, so with the hyperwarp you actually have to click dock, then go into this screen, select your destination, set course, and then click warp again. So what I'm actually gonna do is once you click set course, it'll come back to this screen but automatically go into hyperwarp. So that's one thing I have to change. But yeah, this I'm happier with this warp gate. It looks a lot more in line with the art style of the ships at least. And yeah, it doesn't look like a Beyblade or Tarzo or something. Let's see if this will play the music though. No. So there's something that happens that, I'll just relaunch it. But there's something that happens that makes the music instance stop. But I don't know what it is, so still figuring it out. So obviously the Nico's music, I'll credit in the description, and he's still making music, and it's more and more awesome every one he releases. I'm hoping after release I'll get back in touch with him and maybe make some music specifically for the game. So here we go. Put the music up. Ah, damn, because it... Yeah, I'll probably shave off another second of the time in the warp field, and that'll align it perfectly. And then, because what I was planning is to have it come to the arrival destination as that, the violin or whatever it is, the kind of relaxing sound comes on. So yeah, that'll be that. So the last thing to show off is the new ships. I'm not going to go into them, I'm just going to go into the ship hangar. There's so many save games now that I don't know which one's which. So yeah, this is pretty much all I've done. So I still have to do the alignment of that text on these screens. So yeah, I've got to change that. I'll change the design of that one. Just don't like it. And this one, I'm kind of not that happy with, but I'm keeping it in there. So that's a new one, the stag, the hydras. I forget if I showed them off, but there's 3, the MK1, the MK2 and the MK3. So this has got 2 weapon mount points, this has got 3, and this has got 4. The Vesper, I think that was new, and the Incinerator, it's got 5 mount points with flamethrowers, 5 flamethrower weapons on it. So yeah, that's everything. So yeah guys, I've been doing that. Hopefully this week is more ships, fixing more bugs, and I'll do that Megaboss. Because yeah, that's how those war zones are going to play out. And so I was originally going to have that warp distance, and then you can exit after you travel the whole distance, but I'm just going to have it so it automatically finishes the war zone once you destroy the Megaboss. And yeah, figure out some proper rewards for doing that, and that'll be that. So hopefully we'll show that off in its proper finished state next week. So thanks for watching guys.